My ex-husband, 40M, and I, 41F, separated 4 years ago. It was I who asked for the divorce, but we had a lot of problems and we both knew that we weren't compatible anymore. My biggest issue was that he never was there for me, nor was he understanding. It was after our daughter was born, 6F. He never helped me and he just went on life like it was before she was born. Nothing was the same after our daughter was born, of course, and I couldn't reach to him. We fought all the time. I was suffering from depression and weight gain and I felt shit about myself. I probably wasn't easy to handle either. The divorce was amicable and he proved all my worries wrong, that he would neglect our daughter, since it felt like he was unwilling to adapt to his new role as a father after her birth, but no. I was happy that he proved me wrong and that he turned out to be a great father to our daughter, but at the same time I wished he would have stepped up earlier when we were still together. He started seeing his fiancée, 31F, about 3 years ago. This killed me because I still loved him very much, but I wanted to be happy for him for our daughter's sake, so I pretended I was just that. After a while he introduced her to my daughter and she seemed to be nice and she was very good with my daughter and loved her, and my daughter seemed to really like her, so I was at least relieved that she is a good who cared about my child. I never told anyone about my feelings and regrets but kept it to myself because it is my own doing and now I take the responsibility. About 6 months ago, when my ex was dropping off our daughter, he told me that he was engaged. I felt like I wanted to pass out and I don't even remember how I managed to pull myself together and put on a smile to congratulate him. I cried for weeks afterwards. I didn't even know what I was expecting, but I was devastated. A few weeks after, I met my ex-husband's sister at the grocery store and she asked me how I felt. I felt my tears welling up and all she needed to do was to hold my hand for me to burst out crying. She asked me if I still loved him and I tried to act happy for his sake, but she probably wasn't convinced. My ex was a bit changed afterwards and at first I thought I was imagining things. While we've always been cordial towards each other, he was more chatty now and he made excuses to stay longer during drop-offs, and even a couple of times I thought that he made sure to arrive around dinner to ask if he could stay because he was hungry. Then a few weeks later the sister showed up at my place with my ex-husband and she told us that we needed to talk. He said that he never knew that I still loved him and that he still loved me too. If he knew, he would never have tried to move on. Later I heard that he ended his engagement. His mother called me, even before I knew he had ended his engagement, to tell me that I was the for ruining his happiness. That I broke his heart and now I waited for him to find a good woman who could give him a good future, a better future with more children, to just pick him up again. Also, his fiancée sent me many DMs calling me an old witch who is using my daughter and his love for her to take him. That I'm pathetic and desperate and he only thinks about our daughter. I feel bad because his ex has been nothing but good towards me. And she lost 3 years on him. Ada? I didn't answer the ex-fiancé and I haven't spoken to him yet. He is asking me out on dates and is talking about counseling so we don't make same mistakes again. I feel so guilty. Comments where Op has replied, apprehensive hippos, well, communication for the win. His suggestion of counseling is a good one. You can both learn too, like his sister, get to the heart of the issue. I wouldn't feel guilty, if I were you. Feel badly for his ex? Sure. And speaking of communicating, your ex needs to do that with his mother if you are going to pursue this new, improved relationship with your ex. And he needs to be direct and succinct. 3heathens_mom, you have nothing to feel guilty about. You went out of your way to support his new relationship and keep your feelings about him to yourself. Your former Sil did the right thing based on the knowledge she had about both of you. If your ex wasn't interested, nothing would have changed. But he was interested and made the decision to end the engagement because that is what he wanted to do. You didn't ask him to. Emo, your ex has made a wise suggestion, which is to go to couples counseling to address having healthy communication between the two of you rather than first leaping back into dating, which may fail if you fall back into old habits. The worst that happens here, Op, is that you would as a couple decide your relationship will remain as it is now. But at least you will have tried and will know why it failed, which is useful going forward. Dramatic_active69 Op, that is exactly what he said too. Acanthacida no 9122, sorry but seems like Op doesn't know how to communicate at all while ex-husband seems so dense. Why did he wait until Op brings up divorce before start being a good dad? If he still loves Op, why he went as far as propose another woman? Dating to move on is understandable, but to the point of asking for her hand? That's way too much. Dramatic_active69 Op, I think me trying to communicate was just heard as nagging towards the end of our marriage. I was diagnosed with depression too, so it didn't help either. Anything I'm not happy with about his behaviors was because you are depressed and not happy. I don't think he really understood that his life had changed either, like he just couldn't book a last-minute skiing trip with the guys because it was cheap and leave me for 3 days. What made me leave was the night when he was out with his brother-in-law and our baby suddenly had fever and I couldn't reach him because it was too loud at the bar. It broke me and I was terrified of the future. In hindsight, maybe I was rash, and if I was in a better mental state I probably would have tried harder. Casehead, his mother sounds like a nasty bitch. Dramatic_active69 Op, I don't think she is. But she and I never were close from the start, and I have heard that she adored his ex-fiancé, which is fair because she is more pleasant and social. I am very hurt of course by what she said and it makes me feel guilty, but I can't be mad at her. That's why I haven't told him yet what she's been saying, because I don't want to create problems between them and I don't want it to look like I'm egging him on or something. We still don't even know if we are getting back together or not. We have a long way ahead, especially with our daughter between us. We can't get back together unless we both are sure it will work this time, so we don't confuse our daughter. She is already too excited the few times he has been staying for dinner after dropping her off. I don't know. It makes me more worried that if this doesn't work then I have ruined his relationship for absolutely nothing, and it makes me feel like shit, but he disagrees and says it isn't for nothing and it is worth a try. We either get back together or we move on properly this time. Update. Hi again. Thank you for all your support. I didn't expect the majority to be on my side. I want to make a little update. My ex-husband has been spending more time with me. Often without the knowledge of our daughter, because we don't want to confuse her in case this doesn't work out. I love him so much, so I don't know why I am so terrified. We have also had a couple of therapy sessions together to talk. We will continue with therapy. My husband's sister has been the one taking care of our daughter when we are seeing each other. We go on walks, dinner dates and therapy. On Christmas, he spent the day with us. There was some problems because he was supposed to celebrate with his parents, my daughter and his sister and her family. Mother-in-law refused to include me, so he ended up asking me if we could celebrate at my place. Sister-in-law chose to celebrate with us instead. I had my sister and her family too. Our daughter was very happy about this. Since he has been staying for dinner a few days a week with our daughter. We are afraid about how to proceed. I am afraid to mess up my daughter. Our plan is for him to move with us or that we move to a new house together as a fresh start. Only problem is that my husband's ex refuses to leave his apartment and we are gonna need to sell both properties to be able to have one bigger house to a new start. What do you think? Are we hurting our daughter? Anyone here who is or has been in the same situation and can tell me what children think about their parents be together after growing up with them apart? Are we taking it slowly enough? Comments. Professional_chair 28 info. How old is your daughter? Does she remember a point in her life when y'all were together? Was she aware and knowledgeable when y'all split the first time? Oop, she is 6. No, she doesn't remember us being a family. She was 20 months old when her dad and I separated. I have made a long and detailed post a few weeks ago about it, but I don't know how to include it here because it gets automatically removed. Alert_bid1531. If you're both 100% sure you're getting back together and want to stay in your house or get a new house, ask your daughter. Would you like to move to a new house? Would you like daddy to be with us? I see no harm in asking your daughter her feelings on the situation. Now I'm not saying give her your full history, but getting her feelings and thoughts out there. She may have questions and letting her know she can ask anything and all her feelings are valid may also make you and your partner feel a bit better moving forward. But if you both don't know or ask your daughter, you may be going slower than necessary. From my point of view, if you and her partner are both together with your daughter in a happy household and your daughter is happy when you're both around, don't panic too much. You can always have mammy/daddy daughter days out, as she is probably used to that from when you were separated, and it'd be a fun thing for her to have all the attention of just one parent for the day. I think a new house would be a lovely adventure for you all, sort of stamp a new life, make fun plans to travel and never stop communicating, have relaxed conversations, cuddle up about thoughts and feelings, make sure you're both doing all you can so you both feel validated. This is a second chance, grab it with both hands. I can imagine there will be drama from his mother and ex, so this is the time where you both need to be strong together and make sure you both work as a team to deal with it together. Good luck. Oop, if I asked my daughter she would be more than thrilled. The times her father stays for dinner she is just so happy. She almost lives with me full time now because he rents a room since his ex still refuses to leave his apartment. She has her own apartment but still wouldn't leave his. I guess we are both terrified of moving forward because we don't want to hurt our daughter. Isn't it manipulative if I asked her if daddy can move in when she knows that I want him to? I don't know. Maybe I am overthinking things. The therapist said as much. We do a lot of family activities together now, the three of us, and she enjoys it very much. I don't know. This whole thing only have been 8 months since he proposed to his ex, till us trying to reconcile. Maybe stay like this for a few more months with few more therapy sessions. Peter 095837. I will never jeopardize the beans. This entire thing is just a mess. Rug P. Most people think they want kids until the kids pop out and their entire social norm changes. This is what happens when you don't play The Sims. The Sims indirectly teaches you how difficult and time consuming it is to raise kids. Just a passing phase. What I'm concerned with is the complete lack of acknowledgement from ex that he fucked up as a parent, causing her to leave. I hope that gets addressed in their therapy sessions before they move forward again. Sephora Kitty, the unskippable cut scene of global thermonuclear war. Yes, it's like she had their child and he couldn't cope with what that can entail. It seems, from just this glimpse, what she felt at that time was totally normal and she was lacking his support. Baby blues are real. PPD is real. And it sounds like he just couldn't cope? I would hope that's not accurate, but I was in her shoes and my ex left a month after ours was born because he still lived his pre-baby life while I was drowning. But it's like she is blaming herself here. Alternative_year_340, he didn't try to cope. He just didn't think he had to do any of the work. T13 Husky, lol, the ex is still a piece of work. So you're saying on top of being a bad partner to Oop at her lowest, he also strung along a woman for 3 years while he was in love with someone else? Because he didn't want to be lonely? He might be a great dad, but he still seems like a shit partner. Global_reference_746, I got the sweater curse and people call me picky when I tell them I do not want to date single dads. Talisa87, this situation is a ticking time bomb. Oop making these decisions while in her feelings, no acknowledgement of the things her ex did that ended the marriage to start with, his former fiancée refusing to leave his apartment, just yikes all around. Tiny bears with cake, worrying about moving too fast while also planning to buy property together, but maybe waiting a few more months first. Of course. That'll fix everything. Kinda amused confused ex-fiancé is apparently squatting at ex-husband's. After 8 months, either he doesn't have the fortitude for an eviction or they have tangled finances/stakes that Oop isn't acknowledging. Now on to the next story. Story 2. Didn't trust my GF going on a trip with her ex. So she lied and said he wasn't going, but later her ex told me that they hooked up the whole time during the trip. My GF, 23 female, really wanted to go on a camping trip in July of the same year we graduated from college. This camping trip was with a group of close friends and classmates that were all going their separate ways that summer. I, 24 male, was already hired in the career field I was hoping for. I was eager to start, and they wanted me to start immediately after graduation. So even though I couldn't attend the camping trip, my GF asked me if she could go. We'd been together for 3 years, almost the entire time we spent in college. Throughout that time, she maintained a presence on social media. She would share everything she went through, even the embarrassing moments. One time, she was caught on her phone in class, and the professor asked her to stay after class. As soon as he started talking to her about her excessive phone use, she was live streaming. The awkward conversation made it clear that my GF was only defensive of the choices she made, without taking the time to consider why her choices might not be that great. After the stream, she read the comments, where people called her out for her entitlement and refusal to take accountability. This upset her so much that she locked herself in her dorm for 2 days. I was eventually able to get her to come out. I told her that people mess up sometimes, but when you do, you just try to do better next time. She appreciated my words, and actually stopped posting as much as before. Still, she made at least one live stream video per day. I noticed in the comments of her videos that she had a lot of random men telling her how beautiful and right she was. One of these men was her ex-boyfriend, who was her high school sweetheart. She had tons of people complimenting her and telling her she could get through anything. I wondered if all this encouragement from her ex and strangers had an effect on how she went through life. Even though she never cheated on me or gave me a blatant reason to distrust her, I still wanted to know who was going on this camping trip. She started naming females in the group first, but I told her to screenshot all the names from the camping group chat and send it to me. She hesitated, and said she'd rather just tell me. I asked her why, and she couldn't think of a reason. What I was asking wasn't that hard to do, so she did it. It took her longer than I expected, but she sent me a list of 13 people. Some were men, but I knew them all and we were like brothers. They were so responsible that I actually felt better knowing they'd be there. My GF and I lived together in the furnished basement of our landlord's house, but I like to call him our overlord. He was nice enough, but we had to make sure our TV was on low volume by 6 p.m., or else he'd tap on the floor. There was a kitchenette, where my GF was sweet and talented enough to cook meals for us. While she was doing just that, I kept hearing her phone ping. Eventually I checked it, and noticed that there were 14 people in the group chat. She must have edited the screenshot of the list to cover up the name of her ex-boyfriend. She ended things with her high school sweetheart after they started attending our college. We met shortly after, and she waited an entire year before even telling me he was her ex. He was one of the friends in our circle, but after she told me that, I kept my distance. I didn't trust that he wouldn't try to take her back the first chance he got. And now her sneakiness was proving my hunch to be right. I approached her about this and she was prepared to swear to me that he wasn't going camping. He was only part of the group because he was driving someone else to the meeting point. She said that was why she edited his name out of the list, because she didn't want me to worry. I scrolled through the chat, and other messages on her phone, and didn't find anything from him. When she begged me to trust her, I gave in. I didn't find anything incriminating, and he wasn't part of the planning or discussion at all. Still, the night before the trip, I asked her not to go because I didn't agree with it and I couldn't go along with her. I added that since I was her man I felt that she was my responsibility. She told me I was overthinking it and being ridiculous because I wasn't her father, and she was her own person. I countered, saying we were in a committed relationship, so I should protect her. She told me she had to be able to do what she wanted, otherwise our relationship wasn't going to last. I was devastated when I went to work the next day. I kissed her goodbye, uncertain whether or not it was the last time. While she was on her trip, I watched the posts and pictures she was tagged in by our friends. I noticed right away that her ex was on the trip, and she was standing or sitting by him in all the pictures. So she blatantly lied to me. On the picture of them sitting by the fire together, her friend left a comment that said she just loved how my GF had to change the sleeping arrangements. A winky heart face followed. I called her immediately. As soon as she answered, I told her we were over. She freaked out and started sobbing, asking why, claiming she hadn't done anything wrong. I told her I knew she slept with her ex, and that he was there with her on the trip. I told her I didn't trust her at all anymore. She sniffled and took a moment before asking me why I thought that. I hung up on her. She actually showed up to my house the next day. She was waiting for me outside when I got home from work. Believe it or not, she was with her ex. He drove her to my house. I was upset as soon as I saw them. I got out of my truck and started telling her to go get her stuff out of my place. She started telling me that she wasn't cheating on me. We repeated our lines until we were blue in the face. Then she looked at App and told him to talk to me before she walked into the house. I was surprised when he told me that she told him she'd only continue seeing him if he swore to tell me that they didn't sleep together, and that he only decided to tag along at the last minute. However, the truth was that they did sleep together, a lot because she wanted to. She told the group that I broke up with her the night before the trip. Then, when I called and broke up with her, she lost it because she was caught, and didn't really want to lose me. That's when App realized she was a huge liar and not worth investing his time into. He decided to drive her here just so he could tell me the truth so we could both dump her. This was the best opportunity I was going to get, so I thanked him. As soon as she walked out with just a single backpack of her stuff, App told her not to put it in his car, because he didn't want anything to do with her. I added that neither did I. Her jaw dropped, her backpack fell off her shoulder, and she started whining. Pleading with both of us, either of us to change our mind. It was pathetic. App got in his car after wishing me luck. I walked past her, closing the door to the basement before she could stop me. She didn't have a key. She cried and wailed outside the door, trying to say anything to get me to let her in or at least get more of her stuff. The only thing I said to her through the door was that she could come back another day, and her stuff would be waiting for her outside. She hated that, and complained about her stuff potentially getting stolen or rained on. I ignored everything she said and all the banging until she called her mother. She loudly pleaded with her on the phone right outside the door. I put headphones on and eventually discovered that she was gone. Her mom refused to help her get any of her stuff and bring it to their house because, according to her, there was no room. I think her mom was extremely bitter towards her for ruining a great relationship and having to move back in while her parents were trying to enjoy their alone time together. After 2 years, my ex still had not gotten a job within her degree or even asked me about the rest of her belongings. Instead, a short time after moving back in with her parents, she realized it was much easier to start selling pictures and videos of herself online. That's how she makes money. And whenever her parents go on a trip or vacation, she makes videos in their kitchen or living room like the house belongs to her. I sold her belongings and actually got a decent amount of money from the handbags, which is great because I was the one to buy her some of them. I haven't dated since this experience, but I'm not upset about it. I feel content working the job I've always wanted to work, while I lift weights and aim to be a wise man.